to welcome you, Nanuma. We're glad to welcome you, Nanuma. We're glad to welcome you, Nanuma. We're glad to welcome you, Nanuma. 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 Hawaii, Nanuma. 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 Nanuma, Hawaii, 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 Nanuma. Nanuma, Nanuma. Hey! Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Hey, hey, hey! Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma. Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma, Hawaii, Nanuma.
Good morning. All right. I'm Rob Zimmerman, a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he and him. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on our In-Gathering Sunday here in Brookfield, Wisconsin. We're grateful for the privilege of living and gathering on traditional territory inhabited at various times by the native peoples of the Seven Council Fires, Ho-Chunk, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Menominee, Peoria, and Miami nations. So much of the history of this land and its people have been erased or ignored. Those of us who are non-natives or their descendants have a duty to understand that history and engage in the work of reconciliation and reparation with those who still call Wisconsin home. As an anti-racist faith community, we acknowledge that racism throughout our society continues to lead to the violent deaths and oppression of Jews, Black and Indigenous peoples, and other people of color. As a welcoming congregation to gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, and queer plus peoples, we must continue to address ongoing homophobia, violence, and unfair legislation targeting them. Our Unitarian Universalist faith calls us to engage in the work to dismantle white supremacy culture and all forms of oppression in our hearts, in our community, and in the world. Let's make it happen. It's so good to be together as a loving and evolving community gathering in and among so many different places. We welcome those who are joining us online. Wherever we are physically, our hearts and spirits are one. If you're a newcomer here, I hope you picked up a flyer on the way in that tells you all about what to expect and how to connect. We'd love to have you fill out the welcome side of the blue sheet you received when you entered, and hope to see you at the newcomers table in the foyer after the service. And if you're online and want more information, please email us at visitor@uucw.org. There's time for coffee, tea, and conversation for everyone following the service. Find a comfortable place to hang out here in the sanctuary, in the community room, in the library, and then challenge yourself to talk to someone you have not met. Let's build community together. People of all ages are always welcome in our sanctuary. However, the nursery room is open and available for children up to age 4 or 5. Today's service is multi-generational, so all are welcome to stay in the sanctuary. But if you haven't already done so, please register your children for this year's religious education program, which starts next Sunday. The worship exploration table has quiet activity ideas for anyone and of any age who can benefit from keeping their hands busy while still enjoying worship. And for anyone needing or preferring to leave the sanctuary but remain engaged, there are self-guided activities in the community room along with our worship services live stream. And there he goes. I want to highlight a few announcements, which you can also find printed in your order of service. Announcement 3, this Tuesday afternoon, our peer giver support group will be meeting here. This announcement wasn't in the recent e-news, so be sure to reach out if you'd like more information. Announcements 6 and 7 relate to upcoming Get Out the Vote efforts. This Wednesday evening, Sophia will be hosting a candidate forum here at UUCW. And next weekend, UUCW will be hosting canvassers through Wisdom. They need additional volunteers for this important work. We'd love to see a great representation from UUCW at these events. Announcement 10, mark your calendars for an all-congregation potluck dinner on Friday, September 20th. Reverend Sharon Dittmar from UUA's Mid-America region will be there to help us share our hopes for our shared ministry with Jill. And finally, announcement 14, we have our UUCW auction planned for November 9th. If you'd like to donate, please register through the link shown. At the last auction, Karen and I were fortunate to be the winning bid on a weekend at a cabin at Butternut Lake in northern Wisconsin, donated by Vicki Bresky's sister, Elise. It was a great getaway in a beautiful location, made even more special because it helped support UUCW. And now, let us rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 1000, Morning Has Come.
Morning has come. Good morning. It is so good to be with you all this morning on our ingathering and water ceremony Sunday. This morning we gather here to welcome one another into this community, whether this is your first time in the building or online, or you have been part of this church since its founding. We gather here to welcome one another into our shared ministry of love and justice. I offer now a call to worship in which I invite you to participate. We'll divide the sanctuary into two sections, and when I signal to this side, please respond, "Come in." Let's hear it. Come in. Very good. And this side, when I signal to you, please respond, "Be among us." Be among us. Well done. You're ready. And folks online, please feel free to choose whichever one feels right for you. To all who are yearning for community, come in, be among us. to all who are just getting started, to all who long to go deeper, to all with tender places needing care, come in, be among us. To the ones who have healed and have care to give, for those who are curious and hungry to learn, for those who know that they have something to teach, come in, be among us. For the ones just beginning to suspect that they might nurture others becoming, to the young and the old, the innocent and jaded, the fresh of mind and the deeply steeped. There is room here for each and every one. Come in, be among us. And now, as is our tradition, like UUs all over the world, we light a chalice to mark this sacred time together. Will you please join me in speaking our chalice lighting words, which are printed in your order of service? We gather as many drops, each winding our own path down life's surfaces and ruts. Here we pool together as a single body, flowing together for a time. Together we are a stream, at times even a river, for with our shared force we can travel toward oceans of meaning and seas of connection.
Good morning. My name is Scott Kapishke. My pronouns are he and his. Our first reading is The Water Song by Carolyn McDade. Water, you fall, there is poetry. You run, there is music. You rise, there is dance. Sweeping, swirling, spinning, running, settling, rushing, rising, misting. Fog thick and ice-formed, thawing, dripping, enlivening the dry root. Juice of the flower, wine of the fruit, drop by drop and ocean full. One water around one earth, dashing the shore, soothing the sand, leaving, returning, together, apart, distinct, collective, source of life, the great recycler, carver of rocks, writer of canyons, shaper of earth. Water, you come from the early whispers of my beginnings, on and on, intimate of every generation and all to come, the great equalizer, morning tea, evening broth. I know you, waters. We've met some time before. Why do I know you so well? You run over my body and I am at home. You fall on my bare face and I feel welcomed from a long journey. You of 1,000 stories, 1,000,000 years, spiraling through formless time, you of the endless flow.
Good morning. I'm Dave Cicero, Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UU Church West. My pronouns are he and him. So today I'm going to, instead of reading a book, a storybook, I'm going to be sharing a little wisdom tale. There's a little bit of science involved too, for those hoping to learn. But I'll also be inviting you to help me illustrate some of the points by creatively moving your bodies just a little bit. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but our planet and the atmosphere surrounding it has all the water it will ever have and has ever had. So why does it seem so scarce sometimes? And in some places, always. Well, that's because water moves. And because water is a shape shifter. That's right, it changes its forms. So think about it. When somebody boils a pot of water for a while, where does the water go? Little hint, right? It never disappears. Nothing really does. So think about what happens to water when it boils. It becomes a water vapor gas. That liquid water becomes a gas, mixes into the air. And that's a change of form that takes place in a process we call, anybody? Evaporation. On those really hot, muggy days of summer, you could just feel the evaporated water hanging in the outside air, can't you? Even when you can't see it. Now, when water is in that form, we call it humidity. Now, if I were to invite you to demonstrate with your arms, with your body, right where you're sitting, what humidity looks like, how would you do that? Okay. I see a lot of fanning of faces. I don't see a lot. I see some slumping here and there. Not a lot of energy. Now, sometimes when the morning or evening air is cool enough for you to actually see the water droplets in the humid air, often floating close to the ground, it keeps us from being able to see very far in the distance, right? What do we call that? Fog. Now, would you act out fog differently than you'd act out humidity? How so? How would you act out fog? Okay, I see a lot of looking into the distance, struggling to see. I see a little bit more energy, perhaps. Okay. Now, let's imagine the air warms up. Evaporates that water back into the air, that fog, and carries it way up high into the sky, into the blue skies. It cools down because it's so high up, becoming visible again as big, fluffy clouds. Now, what would clouds here in the sanctuary look like if you were to act out clouds? I know, I'm really challenging your imagination here, right? Well, that's nice. I saw a lot of raised arms, though. Now, many of us have learned that when clouds build and get dark, a storm is brewing. Now, gentle showers are one thing, but when a storm gets really powerful, we've learned it's best to find cover, preferably down in the basement. Now, the wind and lightning are scary, sure, but even the water falling in a heavy storm will wash away things that aren't tied down. And something I learned a little bit more about this summer, the only reason those tiny droplets of water just hanging out in those once peaceful clouds ever fall to the ground in the first place as rain is because they joined up with others. Some people claim there's strength in numbers. Now, imagine a large number of individual people, each with really great ideas and skills of their own, but they never come together to share them. What's the chance of those ideas, those skills, affecting the current climate of things? It's probably fairly small. It's likely that no one would notice. On the other hand, when a large number of people all agree to come together with a common purpose, look out. I see a large number of individual people here in the sanctuary. I think there's a rainstorm gathering. Individual water droplets join forces to become raindrops, falling out of the sky and upon the surface of the earth. Pulled by gravity, that water now begins to flow downhill. You could join me if you like. Slowly at first, as one small trickle merges with another, flowing together into a rivulet, then a stream, then a creek, then a river, flowing onward. Some of that water seeps deep into the earth itself as groundwater or deep aquifers, where it will stay for days, years, even millennia, until it's pulled up again at a later time by tree roots, wells, springs, geysers, rejoining the flowing, until it collects in ponds, reservoirs, our vast lakes and oceans. The water collected for our water ceremony today, even if it came most recently from a tap, has been here on earth for as long as there's been an earth. It has made its way ultimately from all over and even from inside the planet, brought together here by us. Our water from across all time on earth gathers its strength and power when it joins together with others, as do we.
We enter now a time for sharing of joys and sorrows and gratitudes that touch our individual lives. It's one way that we express through ritual the many ways that we care for one another. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to the mic to share aloud. And if you have something that you'd rather not share aloud, you can use the QR code on your order of service or the share side of the blue slip you got as you came in to put something in writing, and raise your hand if you need something to write with. And at any time during the week, you can use the link in the e-news to let us know what's on your heart. Remember that what you share is only for the ears of those who are here now. It will not be in the posted video of the service or shared in our e-news. So now, I invite you to come to the mic to speak if you choose to, or raise your hand and an usher will bring you a mic. I will light a candle for you after each sharing. And after each sharing, I invite you all to respond with me, "We hold you in love." You can form a line to either side if you like. Please come. And now we place one last candle for those joys and concerns not shared but held deep in our hearts. We hold you in love. Now let's pause and breathe together. Let's breathe in peace and breathe out love together here in this sanctuary and online. And let us hold all that has been shared in this space in our hearts.
destiny. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me.
Thank you, choir, and Ruben and Jess. We are the boat, indeed. I know you, waters, writes the poet. You run over me, and I am at home, welcomed from a long journey. Water has these welcoming powers, I think, and I think they stem from its elemental nature. We know that all water is connected, as Dave helped us explore, and all water is connected in the same way that all life is connected. Water is continually moving around in its cycles through and around the earth, its plants, and its creatures, including us. We know that we depend on water for our very lives, and that we ourselves are made up more of water than anything else, I think. When I was a young adult, I had the good fortune to spend a week in a cabin right on the shore of Lake Superior, just north of Grand Marais. I spent so much time that week simply being with the lake, watching, listening. This was before the internet. I walked and I sat with the rhythm of those waves, arriving and being welcomed by the shore. And then another wave right behind it, arriving and being welcomed, and on and on. During that time, it was like I absorbed that watery rhythm, and I carry it with me to this day as a deep connection with the way the moments of our lives arrive over and over, right behind each one a new one. And we choose how we welcome that moment. This natural rhythm of life calls us to welcome each new moment. As surely as the earth moves through its cycles of creation, a new moment is continually arriving, offering us a chance to welcome it in its newness and possibility. And today, like UU congregations everywhere, we come together to welcome this moment of regathering at the beginning of a new church year. We welcome one another like the river welcomes the rain for the purpose of living out our values, of grounding ourselves in love and putting love at the center of all that we do. We stand on the precipice of this new year of shared ministry, getting to know each other over the course of this year, and I am so excited to be here on this shared ministry journey with you all, and am welcoming this moment with great joy. Just as water's rhythms can inspire us, so can its strength. Water's strength is unmatched. Running water breaks down rocks, carves out canyons, swallows islands. Glaciers shape the earth. But water is also flexible. When water runs into an obstacle, it doesn't care. It simply keeps going. And at times when there isn't an overt way forward, water finds another way. It seeps into the land, it freezes into ice, or it becomes a vapor and rises upward, as we experienced earlier. Sometimes all the way into that cloud form and then moves around to go nourish the land elsewhere. The Tao Te Ching says, "Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it." And while it might seem like strength and flexibility are opposing forces, water having both of these qualities is exactly what gives it its great resilience. its ability to find a way, to make a new way, to thrive, whatever circumstances arise. We live in a rapidly changing world, I don't have to tell you that, with a great deal, an overwhelming amount of injustice and challenges. And in this particular moment we are in, it can be tempting to leave love behind. The political and social atmosphere around us tempts us to place blame, point fingers, to let despair and hopelessness be our guides. Times like these, with great uncertainty, call for resilience. And like water, we too are resilient. As Unitarian Universalists, we draw strength from our foundation of freedom, the freedom to be our own makers of meaning, the freedom to shape the world in ways that we are called to. We draw strength from our mutual commitment to shared values and to centering love as our guide, not despair, not hopelessness, not division, to how we shape our community and our world. Like water, we are flexible. Ours is a living faith tradition, not done, not a checkbox of dogma that we assent to. We commit to spiritual growth together in community. This living faith tradition calls us to evolve, to meet the ever-changing needs of this world. Our flexibility is in our commitment to becoming ever more inclusive, to continually widening and deepening the ways that we welcome and how we understand who we are and who we are becoming. Unlike water droplets forming a river, our resilience includes a bounty of diversity in the individuals that join together to form community, right? We do not lose our individual identities as we merge together. Instead, we welcome them. We find flexibility and strength in our diverse gifts and experiences and perspectives. Our strength, our flexibility, our diversity, these all form the resilience with which we welcome and meet this moment right now together. Our resilience is revealed when we move through change, challenges, transitions. We see it in how we do the patient work of shaping a more just world, despite the vast array of obstacles. I see in this congregation the strength, the flexibility to be exactly as resilient as this moment calls us to. We see our resilience in how we collectively imagine, dream, and build together. We see it in how we stretch and flow into the shape that our path is calling us toward. Here in this beautiful community, on the cusp of this church year, let us take inspiration from the great rivers as we welcome one another and as we seek to transform ourselves and the world. Let us flow together in shared ministry with glorious strength and graceful improvisation, together becoming what we are called to be. May it be so. Before we begin our water ceremony, I need to ingest a little water. It is our tradition to bring water from places that have touched our hearts and spoken to our spirits. We bring them to this community to share, because we recognize that, like the water, we need a vessel of support and belonging to welcome us and to hold us. By merging the waters that we bring, we each contribute to the strength and resilience of this faith community. In a moment, we will gather our water by each pouring into the large vessel on the table right here in front. We'll invite folks to come up either of the two aisles, with this side passing along the front of the table and this side passing along the back side of the table. I trust you to sort out the lines. For those of you who don't have water with you, we have pitchers on the table, as you can see, or as you will see, that you can pour from to symbolize your water from someplace that is meaningful for you. As you contribute your water, you are welcomed into this community and into this new year. And online folks, we invite you to take some water, name a place that's meaningful for you, and pour it into a vessel of your own, symbolizing you're pouring it into our shared vessel here in the sanctuary. And in addition, one last thing, I invite you all to consider, what do you intend to welcome into this community this year? What raindrops would you like to invite and welcome into this flowing river of community? As you pour your water into the vessel, you're invited to speak that aloud, whisper it aloud, or hold it in your heart. And now I ask you to please come forward for our water ceremony. We have gathered our waters together and tinged them with pink. I think that's a good omen for this church year. I love that color. Now let us bless this water, this symbol of resilience, source of life, welcomer of us all. This is living water. Its resilience finds a way. Its beauty refreshes us. Its awesome power shapes the earth and shapes our souls. May this water inspire us to meet this moment, to welcome this moment in shared ministry with our wisdom and experience, our joy and our strength, ever grounded in love. May it be so.
Hi, I'm Kathy Herwig, pronouns she and hers. As you know, UU Church West Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month we give half of all undesignated offerings to a local nonprofit to help us live our UU values, work for social justice, and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for September is Wisconsin Conservation Voters. And here today to tell us more about their mission and programs is Ian Schmidt-Ernst. Welcome, Ian. We'll just switch places here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I see some friendly faces and some people I have not yet met, but whose faces are equally friendly. So I appreciate that. I'm the Southeast organizer with Wisconsin Conservation Voters. Got the water bottle that it's good that I brought today. I'm so grateful to be here, part of this ceremony. Wisconsin Conservation Voters, we have 3 priority areas that we do work, and one of them is clean water for all, and then also clean energy for all, and democracy for all. And so Wisconsin Conservation Voters, we do a lot of work on advocacy and elections, but actually your contributions today and your support is going to benefit our sister organization, Wisconsin Conservation Voices, that does completely educational work and work in a nonpartisan sort of way. So we have 3 programs that I wanted to highlight with Wisconsin Conservation Voters and Wisconsin Conservation Voices. One is our Native Vote program. So within Wisconsin Conservation Voices, we have one of the largest Native staff doing work on democracy and elections in the state of Wisconsin. So we do work on every reservation with every different tribe, working to increase voter access for tribal communities. It's difficult often with tribal addresses. They don't always translate to USPS and the state elections. So it's important work that we've been doing and has been ongoing. We just recently had our Native Vote tailgate for the first time at the Brewers game, and we had members of every one of the 11 tribes in Wisconsin there. We had a tribal drummer, or tribal drummers opening before the national anthem. We had a native singer for the national anthem. So that was one of the programs that I was most excited about. Additionally, we do work, educational work. So recently in 2022, the Congress and President Biden passed the Affordable Clean Energy Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act. And with this, there is all sorts of federal consumer benefits available for clean energy home upgrades. Things like new windows, doors, solar panels, electric vehicles, heat pumps, really the list goes on and on. And we've knocked on over 200,000 doors directly informing consumers about how they can save money on clean energy home upgrades. So saving money and protecting the environment. And lastly, we do a lot of work increasing voter access and on democracy issues. In Green Bay, we've worked over the last 5 years with the clerk in Green Bay to expand early voting hours, and just this past spring, we expanded early voting sites. So now there's more voting access and more availability for voting. So thank you so much for your generous support. It helps keep these programs possible, and thank you so much for inviting me here to join you all today.
Thank you, Ian. You can help support Wisconsin conservation voters right now in just a minute, or you can go to the UUCW website's Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu, or you can text or mail your donation using the information found here. Today, I thank you for your generosity too, Wisconsin conservation voters. We will now gratefully receive your offering.
And now please join me in reading the words for dedicating our offering, which are found in your order of service. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves and these offerings.
Our second reading is River Call by Manish K. Mishra Marzetti. Between rocking the boat and sitting down, between stirring things up and peaceably going along, we find ourselves here in community. Each called from many different journeys, many different life paths onto this river road. Some are here because the rocking of the boat has been too much tumult, too much uncertainty, too much pain. Some are here with questions about where the boat is going, how best to steer it, where this journey ends. Others are here as lovers of the journey, lovers of life itself. Here in front, beside, behind, each a passenger, each a captain, doing the best we can. Rest here in your boat, with me, the river calls. Listen to how I flow, the sound of life coursing all around you. Let the current hold you. Let the current guide you. The river that gently flows through your soul, whispering, "You are welcome here." Now, please rise in body or spirit, and we'll sing hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Dear UUCW community, may we together flow forth like the river into this coming church year, each a captain, each a passenger. Let us flow with open minds, helping hands, and welcoming hearts. Let us embody the resilience of the river as we meet our future together, come what may, with our joy, our creativity, our commitment, and our love. May it be so.